welcome to episode 4 of the Kori J podcast. We got a lot of topics that we want to get into today. I got 3 special guests joining the show. I got my brother, the Chigerian, joining. D. Will's going to join the show today. And we got Reggie, a.k.a. Reggie LaFleur, a.k.a. Reggie DiCaprio.
Hey.
So it's going to be definitely an entertaining show, so y'all definitely don't want to miss this. The topics we're going to be discussing today is the NFL helmet rule and how that's affecting the NFL. We're going to talk about Dez Bryant being unsigned and some teams that we think would be a good fit for him. We're going to talk a little bit about the Urban Meyer situation and the 3-game suspension that he received. And also we're going to get into some of the interesting storylines for the NBA coming up this season. And also who are our preseason NBA picks for MVP this upcoming season. So, let's jump right into it.
All right.
First topic of the day, we're going to discuss a little bit of the NFL helmet rule. And for those that don't know, I can provide a little bit more details about this particular rule. So, this new NFL rule, I'm just going to give you the definition. It is a foul if a player lowers his head to initiate and make contact with the helmet of an opponent, and this contact is not limited to an opponent's head or neck area, and the lowering of the head and initiating contact to the player's torso, hips, and lower body is considered an infraction. So this is very different from previous NFL seasons. It seems like the NFL is trying to, crack down on the hitting and try to limit the concussions in the NFL. So let's start off. Let's get you guys' thoughts on this new rule. First of all, I don't know if you all been watching some of the preseason games and seeing some of the ridiculous calls that's been going on.
Yeah, I've been watching this Chigerian here, but it's just one of those things, like, I can't even recognize this football anymore, this brand of football. I understand the safety initiative for all the players and making the game more desirable for family and things like that, but coming from a defensive player, it's one of those things of what do you want them to do? So this is people are running full speed at each other, and you expect them to just react and not worry about penalties. One of the things that I have a big problem with is from an offensive player aspect. Every time a running back is running, they initiate contact with their head down. Yeah. We have a former running back in the room, Reggie LaFleur.
Star running back.
We had a drill in our high school called Spider Drill, and he was known for putting his head down. And I can't even imagine how he would initiate contact without putting his head down. Exactly. But you wouldn't see this guy make the contact with the defender if he didn't initiate the contact with his head down. But no calls are going to be called on these running backs, but only defenders. So I just think it's like their initiative to, make the game more safe, offensively better for people going forward. And they want to score touchdowns and push that movement rather than, look for big hits. So
I understand that.
Yeah.
D-Will, you want to comment anything about that?
Man, I just feel like it's soft. I'm like, it's a contact sport.
Definitely.
I'm like, how are you going to just change movement trying to hit somebody and then at the same time I got to protect them? So, I mean, I don't like the rule. It's pretty soft. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Rez LaFleur, you got anything you want to say about it?
I feel like the Chigerian was saying, man, former players, man, it's like it's kind of hard to really, protect another person that you're trying to hit. It's kind of stupid. I understand the safety part of it, and of course, being a father myself, like I can imagine, like, my son playing. I want to ensure that he has, the fullest potential of safety, as possible. But like I say, just being a fan of football, man, I want to see some excitement. Like you turning this into like patty cake. We ain't trying to see all that. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely don't agree with all the rule changes, but I can understand from both sides, where the game is trying to lead to. But like I said, I don't agree.
And Kori, before you go, just kind of piggybacking off that, like I understand how they used to be an initiative to just show hits, because I know everybody remembers Jacked Up on ESPN. Like, they kind of shut that down.
Yeah.
So I understand you don't glorify like people getting like we remember Reggie Bush, crawling in one of the greatest hits ever. You don't gotta show, but I think this is just a little too far.
Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you all are saying. I mean, if you look at some of the players' comments, Richard Sherman, he had a rant where he talked about the new helmet rule, and he made a lot of good points. Kind of breaking down what a form tackle is. We have a couple football players here on the show. The way we were taught to tackle was, you have to. It's impossible to tackle someone without leading with your head. You know what I'm saying? So you have to. When you make your tackle, the head is going to always be in the forefront of the tackle. So I kind of understand where a lot of defensive players are coming from, like Richard Sherman, who's saying, this rule is ridiculous. And I get it, the NFL, they want to, glorify the offense and score 40 points a game every night. And, that may help the ratings, but from a defensive standpoint, I understand why a lot of players are upset, seeing the way that the games are officiated. I mean, it's some pretty crazy videos out there on the internet. I don't know if you guys have seen these clips, but guys are doing, basic form tackles. Right. Sacking the quarterback, whatever, and they're getting called for roughing the passer or unnecessary contact. So I'm like, man, what is the game becoming? And I kind of feel like, I don't know if it's just me, but do y'all think the NFL is kind of losing some of its luster? Are you as excited for the NFL season?
Last
previous years.
Last season I wasn't as excited. It was one of those things of I used to tune in every Sunday and just be glued to the TV. And now it's one of those things I just kind of look forward to highlights because it's not a brand of football that I recognize anymore. The playoffs was surprisingly very good last year, though. I will say I'll give them to that credit. But the regular season, I just wasn't as motivated to watch every week like I used to be. And it could have been a combination of some of the political. Here we go. So we got Bears fans in here.
Wait,
so we're just going to digress
anti-cheeseheads in here.
The greatest quarterback to ever walk.
With
Aaron Rodgers.
He up there, but
we're just gonna digress and talk about that on another time. But no, it's just one of those things. Like I just didn't watch it as much as I did in the past, just because of some of the things that they just glorify the offense, and that just might be my defensive bias, but I don't want to see 4 touchdowns and every rip and for it to be a highlighting game. Sometimes I used to like when Ed Reed used to stick a running back off a quick slant, but now it's just flag every time, so I turn it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting topic. But let me ask you all a quick question. I know Reggie LaFleur brought it up earlier, but would you all let your sons play football? Seeing the way that some of the CTE numbers are coming out, affecting NFL players. Do you think would you let your kids or your sons play football?
For me, football made me sports in general, but football specifically allowed me to have a goal for myself, because I never played before high school, so I knew where I wanted to get to, and it's one of those things of you have a lot of people who are gunning for a same position and things like that. So it's one of those things.
Football is one of those things of so many people can impact a winning environment, and I feel like basketball is such an individual sport. So for me, I would love for my son to take part in that, and the health concerns of it, I may put him in flag football before high school, and this is something I've had a discussion with a significant other of mine right now, but it's one of those things. Football basically made me into the person I am now, so I want my son to experience that as well.
What about you, D-Will? Would you let, I know you have a son, would you let your son play football?
I would let him play football. I honestly wouldn't want him to play football, but if he chose that himself, I would let him play, but I would rather him play another sport because out of fear of him just getting hurt.
Yeah, it's definitely, a lot of guys can't walk after they finish their careers. I think the average NFL career is around 4 years. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, it's definitely a violent sport. I understand they're trying to make the game safer, but we can't deny the statistics that occur after players' careers. What about you, Reg, the Flair?
I feel like I would, but you know, like I say, it's completely up to him. You know, when he gets around that age where we start putting him in sports, man, he gonna become independent, and if he wants to play, he gonna play. You know, there's nothing I can do, but
You
like,
can sign that commission for it.
yeah, for sure. But still, I feel like I would, simply because I love the game of football. Like I would love to see my son play like a little version of me, right? That, like I can live through him. But as far as
coming from a unique player perspective, like we played football on a varsity level, so it's one of those things like we can teach what we learned
exactly.
for the younger generation.
Right.
I mean, basketball we play recreational, but we're not, you know.
Yeah, football was like more of a passion.
More of a
man. Like,
passion.
yeah,
Right.
so
Yeah, and I do agree with the Chigerian. You know, he made some good points about a lot of the morals that football can teach you. You know, just kind of helping you grow into being a man. You know, and teaching you how to win as a team. You know, maintaining discipline and just sort of self-building and strength in your own personal character. So I do think there are some good things that can come from football. And I know it's a big debate today with the way a lot of the players are coached. You know, we did have a big incident recently where a kid died during practice on the football field.
This year?
This year.
At Maryland.
I think it was at Maryland. So
the college or
Yeah,
Yeah.
University of Maryland.
Wow.
so they said the coaches were practicing them too hard and extremely harsh conditions. So I do think we have to be careful, with the way that the players are treated in these type of environments. But
But I think that's individual rather than just football, because our initiative from our coach was hydrate.
Yeah, it was.
Like
Yeah,
we had
for
a
sure.
coach, and D. Will, you since you didn't play with us, so Coach Ford.
Yep.
I remember that. Every practice, he used to tell us. He used to spend 5 minutes on a speech of the importance of hydration because of that. So that's more, in my opinion, on the University of Maryland pushing that so that wouldn't happen.
Right.
Because according to ESPN, the family said it was a culture of like water was basically weakness. You know, so I don't think football should get a negative light on that. I think the University of Maryland needs to change their culture rather than football.
I heard they fired all the coaches though.
Yeah, definitely with a lot of coaches under fire. But let's move on from that first topic and let's talk a little bit about Dez Bryant. We know Dez was once a star wide receiver in the NFL. I believe he's the all-time record holder for the Dallas Cowboys for touchdowns, passing Michael Irvin.
Over Terrell Owens too?
I believe so.
Wow.
It's real didn't play his whole career.
Yeah, he was made with 49.
Okay, gotcha.
But what do you all think about Dez Bryant? Do you think he still has anything left in the tank?
So
he hasn't had
I feel like he do.
You
Bro.
think so? He hasn't had a 1,000-yard season
bro.
since 2014. So I'll let you go first.
Because that's mainly based off like injuries. A lot of stuff was going on. Change of quarterbacks, bro. It's a lot of. Anytime you change a quarterback or some important part of your offense, bro, like that's gonna change. Your chemistry. You gotta learn all that over. But like I say, his main downfall was injuries, bro. I'm trying to get back, but I'm gonna get on. That's a whole nother topic. I'm gonna let somebody else speak on it. But
Go ahead,
I
D-Will.
believe he can help a team. I mean, I don't know what team you can go to.
the Bears.
He still feels like he's a superstar and he's not.
No, definitely. I feel that. No, he's not.
I
Though.
don't think he's
You
a
don't think he's a
superstar.
superstar? Yeah, I agree with that.
Last
Last
leg.
couple legs. Okay.
He
What about
can
you?
for sure help a team.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, I'm just gonna be completely biased on this aspect. Dez has always been and always will be my favorite receiver in the league.
Oh.
Some numbers I just want to tell you guys. In 2014, he had 1,320 yards. The next year in 2015, due to injury, they went 4-12. He played 9 games. Now, last year, he had more yards than 2016, but that was also due to adjusting to Dak Prescott and everything like that. And they had the initial running game and the emergence of Zeke. So having 838 yards plus the more initiative to run the ball is pretty impressive when you don't have the quarterback that you used to have in Tony Romo. Look at how the ball in the red zone used to be. Every time Dez wanted the ball, it used to be back shoulder. Now Dak just throw it when a DB is in the same area. Mm-hmm. It's not the same throw. So in my opinion, and Dez, I hope you listen to this podcast. It's not really Dez's fault. He's not the number one option anymore, but
of course,
Dez is definitely a receiver that can help a team, and I hope he goes to somebody with an elite quarterback like, Aaron Rodgers.
No, not at all. That's off the table. Not at all.
I think he should go to the Packers.
Not at all. Because those receivers on the Packers are terrible. They are not getting the job done.
I can see it happening, though. I can see that.
They're not getting the job done. We have a new offensive coordinator.
Uh-huh.
It's just, we have, what's that tight end that just signed with us?
Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham.
So we got some options, but Dez would just put us over the top. So Dez, forget the Browns.
Hey, no.
Join the Cheeseheads.
Not at all, bro.
So we can win this division.
Y'all still coming after the Bears. So
no.
Bears second, Vikings number one.
To go off some of the points y'all made, I think the Chigerian made some good points on the difference between Dak Prescott and what Tony Romo was providing for Dez Bryant. I mean, not to say Dak won't be a good quarterback in this league, but at his peak, Tony Romo definitely made the throws more to Dez Bryant down the field that the Cowboys offense seemed to be lacking. And if you look at the Cowboys receiving core, I thought it was kind of questionable why they cut Dez in the first place. I mean, they got Cole Beasley. I think they brought in Allen Hurns. They don't have a lot of talent in that receiving core. So.
I will say, though, shout out to Lance Lanier, Cremoni, graduate, plays for Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah?
So we don't want to say it, but not that big name yet, but,
That's what's up.
But as far as Dez, I do think it was interesting. I don't know if you all watch NFL Hard Knocks, but he did visit the Cleveland Browns. What do you got? Do you think that'll be a good fit for him? I mean, I know the Browns historically they went 0-16 last year, so they've been a bad organization. But
man, I feel like they turned into a new leaf, bro.
They
look good. I'm not gonna lie. Looking at them in preseason, they look pretty good.
We talking about preseason.
Hey, and your team ain't won yet in preseason.
We had
Nah. No, they look pretty good though. I mean, even though it is preseason, like Mike said, but they look pretty good. I think he could fit right in. Him and Jarvis Landry, that'll be a crazy combo, bro. Like that'd be ridiculous.
I think the Browns upgraded significantly at the quarterback position, bringing in Tyrod Taylor, and they got the number one pick in the draft, Baker Mayfield, who looked like he's eventually may be the starting quarterback. So I do think the Browns will win a few games this year. I'm not saying they're gonna make the playoffs or anything like that, but I wouldn't mind seeing Dez Bryant on the Cleveland Browns. I do know they got Josh Gordon coming back. He's a stud of an athlete. I don't know if you guys want to say something about that.
But that's the reason why I feel like Dez probably would not fit. They had a good point on Speak for Yourself that Dez would probably be the fourth option if he comes back, and he's never really been that slot guy. He's always just been an X receiver.
Who the third?
The third,
Gordon, Landry.
Landry gonna be one. That's obvious.
What.
Gordon, but maybe number two.
They had a guy who
might be third.
Who's used to being in the.
Oh, I heard.
Getting those third string, passes and things like that. Dez is always used to being that X receiver, regardless. So I don't know how comfortable he would be, not getting as much balls. He already had a problem with being the second option with Zeke. Even though he never said that he had a problem with Zeke or Dak in the locker room, going from being the guy to being another guy in the locker room could just hurt anyone's self-esteem. So I just think the Browns is not necessarily their best fit, but we got these bills to pay. So.
Yeah, I feel that. No, honestly, bro, I feel like that could work though. I mean, Jarvis Landry, he can actually play a slot, bro. He can slide to the slot.
He is in the slot. Yeah.
So being X can Dez can still be the X. He still be number one.
Or Josh
But-
Gordon.
Josh Gordon is the
That's
one.
what
But we
That's what I'm saying.
we don't know how he gonna play though. He can't even get right. What if
stay
he don't
off
pass
the
the next
weed.
drill?
Stay
Right,
off
exactly. Right. Stephen A. voice. What if he, what if he come back? You know what I'm saying? He can't even, So I don't know, bro. I feel like Dez he can make that fit, but it just like I
Gotta
said, it
do
just
a fantasy.
depends. Right.
Yeah. But as much as I hate to say, I do agree with the Chigerian that the Packers would be a good fit, for Dez.
Of course.
He needs to go with a great quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest of all
The
time.
bad.
Despite the fact that he's a Packer,
He's not the greatest. That's
one of the
difference.
greatest. And I think probably unlikely, but the Patriots would also be a pretty good fit too, just to be in a winning situation and sort of change his reputation. But
D. Will, you a Bears fan?
Yeah, of course, boy.
Am I the only non-Bears fan?
Your name is Chigerian.
Oh, man.
That's very like you're kind of like the contraction.
I mean, I'm from Harvey. It's different.
Talk about Harvey. Harvey.
Before he can remember his own name.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Best time of my life.
So we're gonna move on to the next topic. But before we do that, we're gonna introduce a new guest joining us. We got B-Simp, the GOAT.
The goat.
Lefty
Infusion frenzy. That's what he said.
Lefty assassin, boy.
So, B, you want to say what's up? Join the show.
What up?
All right. Okay, so the next topic, it's a little controversial here, so you guys might want to get your facts together on this. But we're gonna talk a little bit about Urban Meyer and what happened at Ohio State a little bit. This has been a big discussion this entire week on a lot of sports shows. Just to give you all some background information on the situation. Urban Meyer, we know he coached at Florida in 2009, and he came to Ohio State recently. But he basically hired an assistant as a wide receivers coach by the name of Zach Smith. And allegedly, Urban Meyer had knowledge that, his assistant Zach Smith was, performing domestic violence against his wife.
His pregnant wife.
Right. Yeah. So
Pregnant
this
wife.
has been kind of controversial. As a head coach of a major program, Ohio State is a really big program. You kind of have to know these things. If your coaches, are doing any criminal acts or, have any charges against them. So, it's been a big controversy. Urban Meyer claimed that he didn't have any knowledge of this information, but the reports that came out and that have, the information that has been leaked, basically confirmed that Urban Meyer had knowledge of these domestic violence charges. So I just want to get you guys' general opinion on the case. He did get a 3-game suspension. In my opinion, personally, I thought that was pretty light, and kind of like a slap on the wrist.
Very light.
I do think if he wasn't Urban Meyer, he would have been fired. I think Urban Meyer is probably the most powerful guy in Ohio right now, especially since LeBron James just left. But honestly, he's one of the top 2 or 3 coaches in college football, so he has a huge stature, and I do kind of think his name played a role in him not being fired and him only getting 3 games. But we can start with the Chigerian here. What are your thoughts just on the case overall and the suspension? Do you think it was fair, or should he have gotten suspended more games or maybe fired? What do you think?
It's one of those things we got to understand that sometimes you're guilty by association. When you are the leader of a well-known football program, your life isn't just affecting your players, it's affecting the community, it's affecting the fans and everything like that. So sometimes you're held to a higher calling than you're aware of. So in my opinion, I think Urban Meyer should have known better. And this is coming from somebody who I've followed Urban Meyer since Florida days. Been a big fan since, big Tebow fan. But it's just one of those things that it's unfortunate that he didn't use his better judgment. But I'll take it a step further that the NCAA is not, it's just a whole corrupt system because 3 games shouldn't even be possible for
option, right?
something like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up some statistics in which Terrell Pryor got suspended 5 games for selling gear for exchange of tattoos. Ty Gurley got suspended 4 games for accepting $3,000 in autographs.
And recently, 9 North Carolina football players got suspended for selling their mics that they own so they can get some cash in their pocket. So this is just unacceptable.
How many games?
They got 4 games
For
selling their
your
shoes.
own
for selling their own shoes. And Urban Meyer got 3 games
for something like
For
a
something like
crime,
this.
right?
Wow.
We all
So
know what really is
this
going on.
entire NCAA needs to have a check of what's going on, because if we are more concerned with young African American males putting money in their pockets than
Young
people
males, period.
being getting abused,
Mhm.
it's some very wrong with our society in general.
Definitely agree with that. B. Sam, you want to make any comments about what he said? Or?
Well, I read about that as far as what happened. I'm not the type to kind of speak on one side. You said there was a leak of him knowing otherwise of what was actually going on. Do you know?
Basically, it's been text messages
Okay.
that's been leaked between him and the assistant coach, saying that he had knowledge of, the domestic violence, and he kind of came out and apologized himself about, being.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
so it's kind of widely known.
It's
that
proof.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. That's wild. Actually, it's if you gonna know something like that and not say nothing, it's kind of wild, because it's almost like you support it.
Yeah.
Like if I know, let's say we talking about you and your girl, whatever. You talking about you hitting and beating you. I'd be all in your face. Like what you mean? If he ain't saying nothing or doing nothing, what kind of?
But would you
What kind of
report
man
it to
is
the police?
Right.
Would I report it to the police?
Because
I'ma have to.
Because that's the difference. Like,
I'ma have to.
It's always one of those things. Like,
What you mean?
And it's a professional environment, so this ain't just personal relationship. So, when you at a major university, you have to report
Right, and
something
your,
like that.
your whole career is on the line
Yeah,
because
exactly.
of this dude.
Now he
Like
can't be trusted.
Right.
Right,
He still,
right.
They still got a job for him and his family, but I just think a lot of other people would have been fired in that position.
I mean, you can kind of be spoiled. I mean, he probably been in a lot of situations that he got off of, and in his situation, some that's probably not well known, small things, so he probably just used to getting off. You know how that is nowadays. So
Definitely, definitely.
What you think, Reggie LaFleur or D. Will? One of y'all want to comment on that?
I mean, nothing that they said already that I can't really comment on. I feel the same way. Pretty much, I feel the same way. I can't really, comment
But
on
I
that.
definitely think the NCAA, like we all said, it's definitely a corrupt.
Super corrupt.
Overall, I mean, it's a shame that players can't sell their own jerseys, you know what I'm saying, and their own memorabilia.
they took NCAA football away from us, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The players can't make a profit off of their own name, but the NCAA, their coaches getting paid millions of dollars. We know how much Nick Saban makes as a coach. Like, it's just ridiculous. And the players, yes, they say they get stipends and scholarships, but that doesn't necessarily equate to the billions.
Yeah, that's pennies.
That the NCAA
pennies.
is making
Below pennies.
in these
You don't
major
even-
sports.
Some people don't even. You get the scholarship, you get drafted. I mean,
Right, exactly.
that ain't.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That really ain't nothing. To be honest, you still broke.
Yep. But we're going to move on from that topic and the corruption in the NCAA. Let's talk a little bit about the NBA here. So
What we known for?
So the next topic, we're going to get everybody's opinions on some interesting storylines coming into the season. So we're going to start with the Chigerian here.
The only one who knows basketball.
Oh, all right. But the weakest in basketball.
Like, we not gonna talk about
Right,
it.
we're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there.
He was picking.
Hey man, come on, we gotta keep this. We ain't gonna question the basketball now. Let's hear what he got to say. So what do you think? What are you looking forward to watching this season? Any interesting stories that you're looking out for?
Man, I am looking forward to Kawhi dominating the East. It is really going to be one of those things of it's going to be, there's no one in Kawhi's way at the small forward position in the Eastern Conference. Jason Tatum.
Giannis?
I'm about to
That's
say,
some
bro.
cool-
Come on,
Giannis,
man. Come on,
Giannis
dude.
plays more of the 4. They put Chris
But
Middleton.
he's at the 3, bro.
I mean,
It's just one
He's
of those. At the end of the day, Giannis
Yeah,
has
okay,
a
man.
hole in his game on the perimeter. Kawhi doesn't.
No.
Now this is assuming that he's healthy, but I just feel that in the Eastern Conference, there's no other player that is going to be able to stop Kawhi offensively. Giannis isn't known for his defense. Giannis is known for putting the ball in the basket, but the Bucks are not going
He's
to.
not known for his defense.
What? He may be able to switch.
he get blocked shots, but he's not.
He may be able
He's a
to.
lengthy defender.
Is he?
Right,
Is
very
he,
lengthy. Like,
is he known for being a lockdown defender?
No, he's not locked down.
Exactly.
But he's above average.
He
defender.
can he can
yeah.
switch on multiple positions.
1 through 5.
No,
But
let's
at
say
that-
five.
No, let's not say 5.
I
But let's.
I say 1 through 5.
But even, they're not even going to be in the conference finals because the Bucks are weak. Regardless,
Of course not.
They
The
trash.
Raptors- but
So
Raptors
they're not
not
in the
either.
conversation anyway.
The
The
Raptors not
conversation is Raptors,
Boston.
Boston, and Philly.
Not even
That's
Philly.
it.
Not
So do
Philly.
you think Kawhi can lead the Raptors to
To the finals.
to the NBA finals?
To the NBA finals.
Wow.
He's that good.
Nah,
He
ain't
was
getting
up
past
20
Boston, bro.
on the team that won 16-1 by himself.
Okay.
Kawhi is
Well,
that
game
guy.
For 3 quarters. Never know what could have happened.
It's all
But
speculation.
I agree.
All
So
speculation.
what about you, B-Sam? Any storylines that you're interested
Hey,
in?
the thing that surprised me the most outside of Boogie going to the Warriors is the fact that Paul George actually stayed with OKC.
Thunder, yeah.
That really amazes me because, I mean, after watching the OKC play, I mean, I thought it was for sure that he was going to leave Russ. You know, not anything against Russ, but when you shooting 40-something shots, I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, y'all see that he's shooting 40-something shots in the playoffs just trying to beat the Jazz. It's like you gotta. And Paul George, you're a better scorer than this guy to me.
Mhm.
You know, you got to move the ball around and get somebody else some looks. I mean, Melo. I mean, obviously he had a disappointing season, but when you see them games, Melo taking 7 shots, 8 shots, only 3. He's not a 3-point shooter at that. Russell, Paul George, they drive and kick. He's forced to shoot these threes when he's a mid-range guy. He ain't knocked them down wide open, but that's not his game. So obviously he's gonna have a worse season, especially being at the third option. But yeah, I'm surprised. That I'm thinking they're gonna have to make. I'm thinking he's planning on making some changes because if he stayed, he must have said something to Russ like, "Look, this is gonna change. This is gonna be different. If not, I can't because I can't see nobody that good playing with." You was gonna say something?
I think it's just one of those things. Players, and Jalen Rose made this point, players don't want to play for 3 different teams in 3 different seasons. It's a brand thing. And now this is one of those reasons why I think Kawhi might stay in Toronto as well. It would have been a bad look for him to get traded from the Pacers, play for OKC an entire year, and then become a Laker.
That's not a bad look. He's Kawhi. You know, he's doing what he wants to do. That's what's going on. He wanted to be traded. They had to trade him. He pretty much forced him to. He said he wanted to play with LA. They traded him somewhere they didn't want to go. Spurs is smart.
I mean, but it can kind of make you seem like a diva though.
It can. I mean, he did to me.
Yeah, I think his reputation definitely took a hit.
It definitely. But at the same time, the NBA.
But his reputation kind of went up a little bit by looking like a loyal guy staying in OKC.
You got to think about it on both sides, though. The owners of the NBA, look what they did to Blake Griffin. Look what they did to.
He's a bum anyway. He's not even in this.
Blake Griffin not a bum. We ain't gonna
oh, come on. He's a bum.
He's not a bum.
Oh, okay.
Look what they did to DeMar DeRozan, bro.
Okay,
Like,
I get you on that one.
Like, come on now. Like, you can't. I understand being loyal, but these guys ain't loyal out here. Like, I mean, unless you know you with a team, which the Spurs I think was that team, that's gonna be loyal to you no matter what. And sometimes you don't know till they trade you. I don't know.
And let's not forget, the reason Indiana traded Paul George initially is because he said he wanted to go to the Lakers. So, that's why the initial trade happened with him leaving Indiana, because it was believed around the league that he was destined to go to the Lakers. Now, for the Thunder to bring him back, like B. Sim said, that was great, for them to retain Paul George. But I do think it was a little weird for him not to even take a meeting with other teams, specifically the Lakers, because that's where he was. He had his mind made up. That's where he wanted to be. He's an LA native. He's from LA, so and he's still bringing them up to this day about he may still go to the Lakers after his contract and stuff like that. So I'm like, why did you do all that if that's not where your heart is at? If your heart's not in Oklahoma City,
Yeah. At the end of the day, all I'm gonna say is I respect. I respect Paul George a lot after that move because the competitive nature in the league seems to have been dimming down by a huge percentage year by year, and it's getting ridiculous. So it's nice to see that we still got players out here being competitive.
Yeah. But what you think, D? Any interesting storylines that you're excited for
I'm
the season?
excited for the Bulls, actually.
Bulls.
Hopefully we can get that 8th seed. I know our defense is going to be trash. We got a lot of offensive weapons, though. We got a lot of.
They got a lot of young talent. I'm excited for the Bulls too.
We riding on a lot of potential right now.
Do you think Levine's going to be a lot better this year?
I think 18. I think probably 18 plus, maybe.
18 plus.
I can see it because he's gonna be the go-to guy, so I can see.
Can I define what garbage buckets is?
Here you go, man.
We got the Chigerian. Let him talk.
So I have this unique definition of garbage buckets. Let's say you play on a team that is sub 500 and doesn't have any chance of making the playoffs, and you're the main option. You're gonna get garbage buckets. You're gonna take all the shots. You're gonna have a low. You're gonna have a low field goal percentage, and your stats are gonna be enhanced. So I can see Zach LaVine doing that, but leading the Bulls to an 8th seed.
You don't think he would lead to winning?
It will not lead to winning at all.
I mean,
because he does not make other
he gonna
players
be the
around
best
him.
player, but all the other players the Bulls gonna lead themselves into the seed. That type of team. He's not leading them to anything.
He's not that.
I think he's more of a team.
He's exactly what K-Love was to Minnesota. Not even that to that magnitude.
He's not even as good as Kevin.
Not even that to that magnitude, but he's gonna get buckets like that.
It's not even the same type of conversation.
No, it's definitely not, bro.
So that's why I'm saying that's why the playoffs won't even be sniffed by the Bulls because the best player. No, it won't be.
I can see it, bro. The East is
y'all being biased, just like y'all being biased.
It's not being biased. I mean, think about the team.
Can we name 1 through 8 in the East?
Definitely name it, bro.
Yeah, sure, y'all good.
We got Celtics, we got the Raptors, we got Philly, we got Indiana, we got the Bucks, we got who else is in there? Yeah, you got the Wizards, you got the Heat. That's 7 right there, right?
Who you got the East? I mean, you got Detroit, Chicago.
Detroit is not
maybe
so
New York.
Please don't
I don't know.
We can squeeze.
We can squeeze the Bulls in there, bro. It's definitely a chance. It's a chance, right?
It's a chance because LeBron is gone. LeBron is gone.
Exactly.
I mean, unless you got Cleveland making the playoffs.
Exactly.
But Charlotte, because Kimba is still there.
Say Knicks before Charlotte.
Kimba's
Definitely say Knicks before Charlotte.
Knicks have no All-Star. Kimba is still an All-Star.
So what?
You said Knicks don't have an All-Star?
You said he's
gonna be out for a while.
He is injured.
Oh, okay.
They do got Kevin Knox now, but I'm not too high on Knicks. I'll put the Bulls.
You forget we got Jabari Parker, right?
Knees done.
My knees are done. He's so disrespectful.
I think the Bulls gonna be good. We didn't talk about Lauri Markkanen yet. I think he was one of the underrated rookies last year.
I really like their front court.
And Wendell Carter too.
He's solid.
Exactly.
But the Bulls
We got the
coach,
softest coach in the league right
he
now.
has no technicals.
Yeah, he does.
At all.
He does.
Not a fan of Fred Hoiberg?
No, I don't think we all are at all.
We're not a fan of their front office or their.
Exactly.
We know how
the
the
whole front office needs to get the boot. All of it.
Go ahead.
All of it.
What storyline, Reggie?
So D. Will said the Bulls. What do you think, Reggie LaFleur?
Of course, I'm excited to see my Thunder. Of course, I'm excited to see the Bulls, but ultimately, man, see how LeBron gonna really, how he gonna come on, how he gonna get them together. I mean, he got a lot of young talent. They look okay. He got a couple decent pickups. They look. Oh no, go ahead. Now they look pretty. They look pretty decent on paper, but I want to see how they. I want to see how you gonna get them together though, for real. Like,
paperwork with the Lakers.
So what you think? What do you feel about like the Lonzo and Rondo? Who you think?
Rondo gonna start.
You think Rondo's gonna start?
Rondo.
What y'all think?
First of all, this is coming from a Lakers fan, die hard his entire life.
No,
I renounce my fandom because of this trash, asinine decision to get rid of our young core for LeBron James.
Who did they get rid of?
They got rid of Julius Randle, the dog. They gonna trade Ingram too. They gonna trade Ingram because they just announced this Jimmy Butler thing, and the point guard is not gonna work because LeBron needs spacing. At the end of the day, Rondo and Lonzo cannot shoot enough for LeBron spacing. LeBron has always needed a point guard who can shoot the rock to be successful.
But LeBron has never had as pure as a point guard as he had right now.
Yeah, Rondo,
And Lonzo.
He's never had a...
Shoot.
Because he played point guard.
No.
Hey, he ruined the league. Don't get me started.
Like, think about it, though. Who, out of his best point guards, obviously, has been Kyrie. But outside of Kyrie, Mo Williams,
Right.
Mario Chalmers. I mean, I think that's it. Larry
Eric
Hughes,
Snow.
I guess, at one point.
Eric Snow.
I mean, this is the...
George Hill.
At some point, I guess LeBron was kind of forced to play point guard outside of Kyrie. I think he could have allowed Kyrie to play point guard a little bit more.
That's fair.
But outside of Kyrie, I think this is as pure as a point guard he could play. I'm interested to see if he can play off the ball because I've never seen that LeBron.
I agree with that. I'm definitely interested in that. What do y'all think the Lakers gonna finish this season? You know, what seed do y'all have them in the West?
Ninth.
Probably.
Ninth. So they're not making the playoffs.
Probably around a 6 through 8.
Yeah, I say about 5 or 6.
What about
I
you,
say
Sean?
5 or 6.
I say 5 through 8 because I don't think they're getting the top 4 seed because
Not at
I
all.
think people are underestimating the Thunder. The Thunder's roster will not be the same roster through the trading deadline. Only because Raymond Felton is a bum.
Man,
He
facts.
needs
What do you get from Raymond Felton, though?
but they're going to package
Yeah.
some players to get
Mhm.
like maybe a player like Julius Randle who's on a 1-year deal.
Definitely.
Get somebody who's going to be in that front court to assist with Steven Abbott, and then that's going to kind of put them into a top 4 seed. And I still believe in the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves were a top 4
I don't believe in
seed
them.
before Jimmy got hurt.
They were.
So
But
I
this,
just think they have a regular season team. They're not built for the playoffs, and I think Cleveland is going to struggle initially because they have so many different personalities.
Lakers.
Well, you see, that's the reason we're fucking LeBron changed so many teams so often. No, but that's the reason why the Lakers are going to struggle because they got so many personalities to handle.
So what
and
teams
things
you
like
got
that.
above them? You got the Jazz above them?
I got the Warriors, I got Houston, I got the Timberwolves, and I got the Thunder.
You got
Timberwolves
Timberwolves
at
at top
3?
4 seed?
They are going to be 4.
Wow.
They're going to be 4. They were top 4 before Jimmy's
Want to make
injury.
another bet, Mike?
Different season, man.
Hey, you know you lost all your bets with me in the past couple of years. You want to tell about that? No, I don't think. No, Minnesota at top 4.
They were
That's
4 last year for the injury.
Especially
honestly,
Jimmy
I
Lee.
don't see why Minnesota hasn't proved to y'all that they couldn't be top 4.
4.
What
Thank
they do
you.
last year so bad that
Like they were out the
Chemistry.
playoffs.
Chemistry is horrible.
Wiggins,
No
Jimmy
leader.
Butler.
No leader whatsoever.
Y'all think that's gonna be a problem?
No leader whatsoever.
I mean,
Jimmy been calling them out all summer.
Yep,
I
definitely.
don't know, man.
He
I mean,
definitely.
Wiggins sucked, so I mean, he deserved to be called out. If you want to be honest,
Right, I mean, honestly, if they traded Wiggins for maybe like Iman Shumpert and like some more bunch of
Shumpert?
no, I'm just saying like no, I'm just saying like if they got rid of the if they got rid of the contract and just inputted somebody to play defense at the 2 position, they'd probably be better because in the playoffs, D Rose was the second best player because Cat was not hooping. He was not
in the playoffs. I
In the
agree.
playoffs,
Yeah.
Cat was not
Derrick
hooping.
Rose was definitely.
He was the second best player.
He was hooping. He was hooping.
So,
definitely.
like honestly, Wiggins, can we really say he's worth that $30 million contract? You could trade him for some. He's not worth that contract, but you could trade him for like some solid bench pieces and stuff like that. Like, I just think he's the problem, and I feel like they'll address it during the year.
Well, let me give y'all my interesting storyline. I'm definitely interested to see how Carmelo Anthony works with the Houston Rockets.
No defense.
nice.
I mean, we've seen how the Thunder experiment where it kind of failed. You know, I think we all had the Thunder getting farther in the first round. It was a little disappointing the way the season ended, losing to the Jazz and the rookie and Donovan Mitchell. But
Jazz.
yeah, but the Thunder experiment didn't go too well. I do think Houston is a better fit than OKC was. I'm not so certain about the coaching. Mike D'Antoni and Melo, they had issues in New York. D'Antoni said he quit his job because of Carmelo Anthony. So I don't know how it's going to work in Houston as far as the coach-player relationship. But having a guy like Chris Paul there and the MVP last year, James Harden, I think that's going to really help Melo open his game up a little bit more. And I just think overall in Houston, he'll be able to perform better than he did in OKC. What do you guys think about that?
It's a more fluid system.
Definitely. Offensively, I agree.
Offensively, they're way more fluent for Melo. Like, the beauty of the way the Rockets run their offense, when you think about the way Melo plays, is a perfect fit for him. This is what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about Melo just catching and shooting at the three-point line. Even though he's going to be doing the same for Houston, it's going to be the exact same thing. But their spacing on the floor is a lot more superior, because when you think about OKC, Adams is always in the paint. He's not, spaced out.
So Will Capella.
Right, Capella's.
Well, then when you look at the right, Capella ain't gonna shoot threes, but his spacing is always there. How you think?
He's more of a lob threat than Steven Adams.
Is he the pick and roll, or they just pulling threes? So when you giving it to Melo on that block, he gonna have all the space in the world to do what he want to do.
I mean, Rockets pull threes too now.
That's what I said.
They the number one.
I said it's gonna be the exact same thing, but the offense is
yeah.
just more fluent. He's not waiting for shots, waiting for one person. I mean,
he's gonna know where his shots are coming from.
He gonna know when it's coming. You gonna be able to predict when you get the ball, because the way Chris Paul and Harden plays.
Well,
you can kind of know when the ball comes.
Mark Jackson here?
No,
Mark Jackson. Don't disrespect
Chris Paul.
CP.
What has Chris Paul done outside of Mark Jackson? Mark Jackson made it to finals.
Mark Jackson don't have as many All-Star appearances. Mark Jackson don't have
outside of that
first team All NBA. I can keep going.
Okay,
but
how you feel about it?
But the Rockets and Carmelo, like you said, I think I agree. It would be a better fit. I think they would be just as good as last year if they get this trade for Kent Bazemore. It's gonna be that Ryan Anderson contract is terrible. It's not as bad as Joakim Noah on the Knicks. His bum ass, but
definitely, bro.
He is horrible. He does not defend. He wasn't in threes.
Melo don't defend either.
But it's different. Like,
true.
I don't know how that's gonna work if he started at the
three. They can't play together. Ryan Anderson,
they can't. So at least if you get somebody who can defend a little bit, and with Kent Bazemore, then you have two defenders with PJ Tucker and Kent Bazemore, and then that might put you at the same level as last year.
Rockets don't care about defense, man.
They were a top defensive team last year, so good. And they were a game away from beating the Warriors. Let's not forget Chris Paul got hurt.
He always get hurt.
They are 3-2 on the Warriors.
Let me tell you what defense means now in the NBA.
What?
Defense means you score so much, your defense looks good. That's what defense now means.
No, because the Jazz had good defense. Bro.
Well, they had good defense. But they ain't scored like that. But all right, so the Jazz did have good defense. But let me tell you, people always say good defense makes good offense, which is true. But good offense always makes good defense. How does a lot of team gets most buckets and catch most teams off guard? On a fast break, right? Mm-hmm. So with the Rockets, first of all, they deprive you with 3-point shots. Anytime someone hits a three, we hoop. People hit threes, man. So the Rockets hitting so many threes, shooting so many shots, making so many shots, you depriving the other team. And along with that, if your field goal percentage is high, teams ain't getting fast breaks. They not getting back.
That's true.
That way you can get back on defense and lock up on the other direction.
But
so
one thing I would say there, that's only what makes though, because when you shoot a three, you got to be the first line of defense if you're at the top of the key each time.
Exactly, and everybody's at the perimeter.
And D'Antoni does not preach that. When Melo's shooting at the top of the key, he is not getting back. Ariza might, but Melo not doing that.
Ariza gone. But just like what you said, everyone's at the 3-point line already. Mm-hmm. You pull a shot, they shooting early in the shot clock. Ain't nobody in the paint. Capella setting the screen, and after Capella set the screen, he either rolling or Harden. Someone's picking up the roller, and Harden or Chris Paul is kicking it to somebody man that just picked up the roller. So now he's shooting a three. The only person that's in the paint right now is Capella. So everybody else running back in the other direction, whether it's a miss or a make. That's defense.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless you got somebody super athletic on the court that's just gonna blow past everybody.
I guess I understand what he's saying,
you out of
because
luck.
when you got 4 people outside of your center who can get back fast, it does make your transition defense easier. It used to be one of those things like if you got a power forward like Robert Ory, his slow ass could not get back, but he was junking them boys back, so he wouldn't work in today's modern NBA because he couldn't get back fast enough. So I understand what Bran said.
Yeah, but let's move on from the Houston Rockets. I also thought the Denver Nuggets was an interesting team this year. We don't know what's going to happen with Michael Porter Jr., but let's talk about Isaiah Thomas a little bit. You know, he kind of had a disappointing, year with the injury and everything. You know, I know he was expecting to get the brink struck like he was hoping for, but he went from being MVP candidate in Boston that year to, he's playing on the minimum right now in Denver. So, what do you all think of the Nuggets? You think they'll be a playoff team this year? Do you think Isaiah Thomas is going to bounce back as like a 6 Man of the Year candidate? What are y'all thoughts on that?
I think they probably could slide in, but the West is so tough, man. That's gonna be a tough little debate.
You think they're better than the Blazers or the
Honestly?
Pelicans?
They better than the Blazers.
Honestly, they talent wise, bro. I mean, the Blazers really only have 2 stars.
Who
bro.
did the Blazers lose to make y'all think they better than the
They
Blazers?
lost Ed Davis.
I mean,
Real quick,
Ed Davis is a good player.
I
real
mean-
quick, it's not about who the Blazers.
They didn't gain
lose.
anybody either. That's my point.
But they were a 3rd seed
But
already.
listen,
They had a
the
high
Blazers
contract.
don't have the same team. They was the 3rd seed in the West, but we knew how close that was. You've
Right.
seen all the seeds, so it wasn't like they was 3rd seed, but it was tied.
literally by like 1 game.
It was
Literally,
so close.
half a game.
It
So,
was so close.
and they got swept. So
Right, that's out of the
That's
question.
not talking about
Definitely.
game. Let's shut down.
Definitely.
But what I'm saying is, like, let's say they either stayed the same or they got worse.
this was my point. The Denver Nuggets. If you seen the Denver Nuggets, Gary Harris gonna be better.
Jamal Murray.
I was gonna mention that about Isaiah Thomas. I don't even know how he gonna start over Jamal Murray.
No, he's not going to start.
No, he's not gonna start. Yeah, coming off.
I'm saying off the bench. That's what Isaiah Thomas has been great at. 6 Man.
Jamal
Exactly,
Murray,
that's true,
Jamal
yeah.
Murray, the truth. Whether you realize that yet or not, he gonna be the truth. The man is a star.
Oh, man.
Jokic. I mean, everybody know about
Jokic is
Jokic
good.
already. He's 7 foot Magic Johnson 1.5.
What? Play it. You gotta hit
that. You did now.
Hey, don't
Play
sleep,
it
bro.
now,
Don't
please.
sleep. Don't sleep.
Play it. I'm waiting,
You
Kori.
can play. All right. What?
Oh, hold on. He got to play this.
All right.
Bruh.
All right. Show.
Hell no, bro.
All right. Here we go. What was Magic Johnson good at?
Just dribbling the rock.
Rebounding, passing, running the team, being a team
Is
leader.
Jokic not good at any of those things?
Oh, my God.
But he's not on
playmaker.
Magic though.
Seven
He can pass out the post.
Right, he's a great
He's kind of
center.
how Joe Noah was in his prime, being a playmaker at the center position.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
That's
But,
that's a lot. That's Jokic is not Joakim. Let's
No,
not,
he's way more talented offensively, yeah. But
not even just
How many assists he average? 6, right?
Who?
Nah, I think that's a. Oh, you talking about Jokic?
Jokic.
I think. Hold on.
he's around 6.
When Noah was balling, it was around that area too. So they are saying
Jamal Murray has
No.
been one of my favorite players since he came into the league. So I've been watching the Denver Nuggets a lot. You probably haven't. I've had league pass. I watch a lot of basketball games. Okay, so you may not know the way Jokic plays, but he got guns, he got vision, and he's extremely good.
Kill, don't do it like that, Brad. Damn. He averaged 6 for 2017 though.
As a 7-footer.
Yeah,
you know?
that's decent. That's decent.
So, I mean, Jokic's going to be better. Like I said, Jamal Murray, he ain't going to be nothing but getting better. And the chemistry's just going to be better. They got the same team. Will Barton, one of the best 6-mans in the league, bro. They got the
Barton
same team.
and IT coming off the bench.
Right.
That's
They,
pretty
they
good.
go-
They did lose
and then
Wilson
they,
Chandler, but maybe if Michael
Yeah.
Porter Jr.
Yeah.
right. And
plays,
then they got Michael Porter. If he plays even next year, they may make the playoffs this year, but even next year, they're going to be.
Going
I
back to
like
the
Denver,
Blazers,
bro.
though, they added Steph Curry. I forgot all about that. They added another shooter.
Better than
And then they added
Jr.
what's Nick Stouses. I mean, that's another shooter. So they added a few shooters.
Okay.
But I still feel like they
That's
didn't get
no-
better though. They didn't
I
get
like
better.
Still a
Steph. Get a little
first round
slept on.
exit if they
Yeah, they-
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. If they do make it first round exit, like what happened last year, so I
And
don't.
what about the Pelicans? You guys think the Pelicans making it this year? Somebody got to miss the playoffs. The West is pretty
That's
crazy.
true.
AD's gonna be an
AD.
MVP right
Yeah, definitely. Hey, that was
Boy,
a
They
He's
got
finna
my
hoop.
boy Julius Randle.
He's
So they
finna
making
hoop.
it.
Yeah, Pelicans definitely making
Do
the
y'all
playoffs.
think Randall's going to fit well with Anthony Davis? I know him and
He
Mirotic
should.
I think-
was a great fit with the shooting.
I think anybody can fit with
This should
Anthony.
be his new home.
Anthony.
So
Julius
Anybody.
Randle is one of those players who just go out and get buckets. No matter what area you want, you have to play the center, to play the 4, anything you want him to do, he will get the job
Okay, time
done.
out. You just talked about garbage buckets, so
exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly. The person who
Randall
created.
getting garbage buckets in LA.
Okay. No. I'm gonna be objective. So, a lot of Lakers buckets last year were garbage buckets. I will admit, but if you even look on the statistics, Julius Randle was one of the highest pick and roll finishers in the NBA. Period. And that's not on just from a statistic aspect of his numbers of averaging a double-double. Since he was a rookie, he's been averaging a double-double. Finishing in the pick and roll, regardless of the defense, is impressive regardless. So I know he's going to be good regardless of what team he goes to.
This should be his best season.
Definitely
Finishing in
should be.
pick and rolls is.
That's what the league is now.
It's definitely a good quality to have. I mean, if you can't finish in the pick and roll as a big man, then you probably should work
He's
on
top
that.
5.
But I wouldn't say that it's extremely impressive. I mean, there's so many players that big men that finish in pick and rolls nowadays and can do a lot more than that.
One of the best in the league.
Right? You
Definitely.
And then
If
you
not,
got
finisher at the
Andre,
rim.
you got Andre Drummond shooting threes now, and
Hey,
whether that's a flop or
See,
not, we'll
I'm
see.
going to cut you off there
We'll
because
see.
we saw the bum Dwight Howard
definitely. I would
doing
agree.
this
in the
in
before the season. Yeah, I
the
agree.
off season.
I
It does
agree.
not translate
It
to
doesn't.
games.
It's just the
so
workout.
just because you see
I said we'll
something
see.
in the summer league,
It's just a workout.
it's just a workout.
Just a workout.
I mean,
Because we
as-
see Nerlens Noel bum workout.
Hey,
It looks
he on the
trash.
Thunder. He looking good. Hey, don't come on my man's, bro. He good. He looking good.
trash.
He looking good.
Hey,
He looking good.
We seen Embiid's workouts before
But
with a 6-footer on him.
But hey, he proving it
doing
though.
moves, but he can't
He's
really
proven.
improve it.
He's
so,
proven.
You know, we just gotta give him
He's
time.
proven.
Obviously, we gotta give him time. He ain't like Drummond finna come to the league shooting.
But going back to the Pelicans though, what you think they line? How you think they line up? Gonna
see,
be
that's
as
why
far
I
as-
think ultimately somebody in the front court is going to be traded because they have AD. Do they still have a Sheik, right?
Nah, Sheik went back.
Well,
to
they still have-
I think he went to.
Yeah,
I would think back to the Bulls. He went back to the Bulls.
Well, they have AD. They got
the
Mirotic.
only
They got
center.
Julius Randle.
He need to go back overseas.
They got one more. They have one more forward.
They got Solomon Hill at forward. Not as a power forward, but
Yes.
they kind of limited at the center position. Which is my
Yeah,
main
but they have a
concern.
lot of power forwards because AD truly is a power
I think
forward.
they still got
But
Dante
he
Cunningham.
plays the center because of the new modern day NBA. So they still.
Yeah, he's gonna have to
I
play
forgot.
center.
Yeah, they do have Okafor now.
Yeah, they got Okafor. That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
If they bring
So
him
none
back.
of those
Oh, they
players
have Lil.
really
Oh, they
complement.
have Lil.
Chill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
none of those players really complement each other. So that's why ultimately I think somebody's going to get traded.
I think what you said was about Anthony Davis is truly a power forward. In 2018, I don't even know if there's even power forwards and centers and small forwards anymore. I think it's either you a forward, guard, a forward or a guard.
Or a
I
wing,
mean, I guess
yeah.
you can throw center in there sometimes, but you either or. I mean,
No,
a lot
I
of
agree.
Anthony Davis, he could be a center. I mean, he's 7.
I agree.
He
The
could-
four
he
is
can be
definitely a lost
center,
position.
But I think
I
he's
agree.
more dominant at the fourth. For example,
Why?
So, because
There's no one in a center position that can guard him.
Boogie, if Anthony Davis tries to guard Boogie, it's barbecue chicken. Period.
It's not barbecue chicken.
What?
He gonna get some.
Embiid,
Look.
Anthony Davis trying to guard Embiid is barbecue chicken.
No, it's not, bro.
Bro,
Barbecue chicken? No.
barbecue
Mike.
chicken.
You lucky
Now,
we
we not
lucky
talking
we not
about
on camera.
cat.
Yeah,
Somebody-
somebody's Inez Cantor or something. This is-
Exactly.
We're not talking
But
about
it's
cat.
The
Somebody-
best defensive big man in the league,
I'm
bro.
telling you.
This is
What
not.
are you talking
This is.
about?
There's a size differential with.
It does not matter,
It
bro.
does matter.
No,
It
no,
does
no,
matter.
bro. No, No.
There's a reason why. Like he rather plays the 4 because he does not like to bang at the center position. Now, at the end of the game, where you trying to get the win and they got the more skilled players out there, but at the center position, he does not like to bang with those big
bodies. There's not a lot of centers that's banging anyway. I mean,
exactly. Everybody
you got
shooting.
Steven Adams, who's probably the strongest in the league. Who else? Drummond,
yeah.
You know what centers out there that's gonna bang with
I
him?
think
Not many.
all of them.
I think
It's like 3 games.
But
out
would
his
you-
whole
would you
year,
ra-
he's gonna bang with somebody?
It's not the same era. You know, it's not the centers today.
But okay,
are
but
skinny guys.
but back to Brandon's initial point of saying like people are either forwards or ball handlers or playmakers. Kevin Love can't play the center position. He's not good at that. So people
I'm talking about Davis.
Oh, if we
Davis
talk
can play the center
if we
position.
talk about Anthony Davis specifically, he can play both. But I still think identifying individuals as just forwards, guards, or wings is not the way to go because your forward cannot always be an Anthony Davis type. Some players just
Someone
have,
Anthony Davis.
Exactly.
I mean, of course. See,
I get what you're saying.
Right.
I get what you're saying. You can't classify all. I
like
get what
that.
you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
can't
But
do
what
that.
Brandon was saying was pretty much the 4 is a lost position. So like Melo starting at the 4. You're not no
A lot of
4,
forwards
but
playing
he
5 now. You know,
exactly
Or-
right.
But Melo is only starting at the flow because his lateral quickness is gone, not because he's a better 4 now.
that's
That's
Alright.
the only reason he's at the 4. He can't guard threes. He's not a better 4.
Melo can't guard 4s either.
I mean, he can't guard nobody. He can't guard a statue. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the
I get
main
what you're
reason.
saying.
But
No,
that's
I
the main
definitely
reason he's
understand.
playing the 4.
I think the main
Because he
reason
can't
he's
guard
playing
the
with
three.
4 is because Melo is actually an underrated rebounder.
he can rebound. He can rebound pretty good.
Get the
He
fuck
rebound-
out of here.
No, he rebound.
what
No,
position he's gonna
he rebound pretty good.
He's,
I
he's
must
an
say.
underrated rebounder. The league has gotten smaller, so he can play the 4.
Yeah,
He's guarding people like Kevin Love. That's not an overwhelming mismatch. You know, he's guarding people like
Paul Millsap.
Paul
Millsap,
Millsap.
yeah.
What is he, 6'10"? That's not an
Draymond
Green. So
6'6".
the 4 has gotten a lot smaller. That's why
Blake
Melo's able
Griffin.
to play. Look at the Cleveland in the finals. I mean, he was playing point, but LeBron was the
at the
tallest
4.
player on the team.
He was at the 4. Yeah, he was playing the
That's
4.
why
but he was still the tallest. I mean,
This is
he's
why he got swept.
Tristan.
Just because it's happening
By the
doesn't mean
inches.
it's not as
Yeah.
good game plan. Their best lineup is when they were traditional. TT at the center, K Love at the 4, LeBron at the 3, some shooter at the 2. I think it was Rodney Hood.
that's what they were.
And George Hood. When K Love was at the 5, they was getting their ass cooked. I'm telling you, just because these lineups are happening does not mean it's smart coaching decisions.
I didn't say it.
We
was
didn't- we
accurate.
never
It depends
said
on
that,
the
bro.
team, of course. I mean, we know Kevin
Yeah.
Love's not a natural center, but of course Anthony Davis. Just a lot of Draymond Green. The Warriors' best lineup is with Draymond Green at center, right? So,
And the Pelicans'
It
best
depends on the team.
lineup was when AD was
yeah,
at the
when
5.
Marcus Cousins got hurt, the Pelicans were
They
better.
went on the game. They went on the winning streak, bro.
But that's more from pace, though, in my opinion.
That's what the league is moving towards. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Look at the slow teams. The Grizzlies, they're not moving anywhere.
and that's
And,
why they was one of the
in the
weakest
current
teams.
NBA. Do you think they're gonna be good this year?
But I mean, I don't know. It's more. It's a common. If you got, I just feel like if you got big men who can move, stay big. I don't think it's all
Yeah.
about having people who are just mobile out there.
Small ball.
Yeah, because
Small
Steven
ball.
Adams can stay in the game. That's the point.
Exactly.
Right. Steven Adams is not a liability though on the defense. He can still switch on to guards
Exactly.
occasionally, and he's a mobile big though, But every team doesn't have that, Guys like that's what Brook Lopez. You don't want him at the end of the game trying to guard somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, it depends on the team. Every
Another
person
Laker
is
who I suffer for.
Yeah.
That boy trash.
Yeah, but let's we're gonna move on from the NBA surprise. We got to talk about the MVP conversation. So
Alright.
I hope you guys are ready for this. What else?
Corey,
you
you
got?
go ahead and start off,
You want me to
man.
start?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
start
go ahead and
off.
start
You know
off.
what he
Let's
gonna
not
say.
start.
You know what he gonna say.
So we're gonna start with let's give our top 3 who we think is gonna be in the MVP conversation. So the top 3 players in the MVP conversation, and we're gonna go from there. So for my list, I have to go with the LeBron James.
Big surprise.
You're right, big
Big
surprise.
surprise.
Big
At
surprise.
number 1. And let me explain why though. I'm not too bad. I'm gonna give you an objective reason. So the reason I picked LeBron James MVP this season, the MVP is usually a narrative based thing, when Harden won last year, you know, it was because the Rockets were number 1 seed over the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? And they lost Dwight Howard and all that stuff and things of that nature. But the MVP is always based off of narrative. So the narrative this year is going to be LeBron James taking the Lakers. They won 35 games last year
to a 6 seed.
And you know, where will the Lakers be this year? I think they can win 50 games this year with LeBron James. If you look at Cleveland, they won 50 last year, but that was with Kevin Love missing a lot of time, J.R. Smith, and I don't know what you guys think about it, but I think this Lakers roster is better than the Cleveland roster he had last year. So, and I get it, he's in the Western Conference now, but I still think LeBron James could take a team to 50 wins at least, and I think that's enough to put him in at the top of the MVP conversation. So. That's why I have LeBron James number 1. Mm-hmm. Number 2 on my list is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think he could potentially steal the MVP from LeBron James if the Bucks are a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. Now that's not a given, but I think the Bucks have to be a lot better than they have in previous years. They got a new head coach this year and Mike Budenholzer, so I think that would definitely help Giannis out. Maybe they could space the floor a little bit better for Giannis. But I got him at number 2 on my MVP list if he's able to push the Bucks forward into a top 3 or 4 seed. And number 3 on my list, I got Russell Westbrook. I think, you know, the Thunder are going to be at the top of the West. You know, they made the top 4. They did lose Carmelo Anthony. But if he can bring out the best in Paul George, you know, with them being just a 2-star team instead of having to, you know, feed the ball to Carmelo Anthony now, I think if Russell Westbrook, you know, we know he's going to stuff the stat sheet. He's a walker triple-double, and he's going to give it his 100 every game he plays. So I got Russell Westbrook as 3rd on my list if the Thunder, you know, can push for maybe a 3rd seed, and, you know, he's going to put up his numbers. So I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it. And I also want to give one sleeper as well. My sleeper for MVP is Joel Embiid.
Whoa!
I think Joel could sneak and win MVP this year in the Eastern Conference. East is kind of wide open with the Celtics, Raptors, and potentially the Sixers fighting for the top spot. So I think if Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, you know, if they continue to click, they play a full season together with, you know, maybe Markelle Fultz playing like the number 1 pick, I think the Sixers may be able to surprise a lot of teams this year. And I wouldn't be surprised with Joel Embiid. We already know he's a social media force and he knows how to get votes and stuff like that. So I think the media would definitely want to vote for him because he's a likable guy. But I got him as my sleeper pick. So LeBron James at number 1, Giannis at 2, Russell Westbrook at 3, and then my sleeper was Joel Embiid.
Can I please go next?
Sure, go ahead.
Please go next.
Chigerian, go ahead.
So, Kori, I'm sorry. LeBron James will not win this MVP this year. Simply because the Lakers will not be a top 4 seed this year. This is for you, Nick Wright. First of all, for all you other bronze sections out there, this roster will not be a top seed in the West simply because they do not fit well spacing-wise on the basketball court. They're going to have their own growing pains. But my number 1 MVP candidate, storyline-wise, is going to be Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is going to be competing for a top 2 seed historically, before Russell Westbrook had the historic triple-double season before Oscar Robertson did it. No other individual won this being outside of a top 4 seed. So with me already thinking the Lakers won't be a top 4 seed, why would I think LeBron James would do anything spectacular? My second runner-up will be Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has never won it. He may become the number 1 threat in the East to go to the finals the first time. Number 1, first time going to the finals, number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Why wouldn't they give him the MVP, especially because you know he's going to have spectacular plays and all this. So he's going to be on SportsCenter and everything like that. So why not put him in the MVP conversation? Number 3 on that list, I do agree. Russell Westbrook could be in it. You know, I think Russell Westbrook, with them losing Melo, people are kind of having them on the back end of the Western Conference. I think he might have something to prove and saying, you know, thinking we are not in the top conversation. If they get that 2nd seed outside of Houston, why not give Russell that MVP his 2nd and prove it's not just triple doubles, but I can lead to winning it prove people like Colin Cowherd,
Facts.
you know, wrong, you know. But and then number 4,
Sleeper.
it's just a sleeper. Who else? That's tough. That's a
That's LeBron James. You
You
said yours ain't gonna be that good.
I don't really got a sleeper. Honestly, I think it's gonna be outside those 3. But I would say he could be my sleeper. LeBron could be my sleeper, unfortunately, because I just think it's a lot of things have to go right for him to become MVP.
You okay?
Oh my God, he can be
From the same
oh
person
my
that
God.
said,
He can be my sleeper.
glad we got it on
He can be
tape.
my
Wow.
Like, first of all, just because I think
Yeah,
he'll win.
thermometer, Kori.
Just because I think he
Go
could
get a
be
thermometer, bro.
just because I think he could win MVP doesn't mean I think he's great or anything like that. He's alright, you know. Alright.
Alright, we done with Chigerian. Red, you want to go next?
I'm worried about Mike.
Right, man.
Oh my God, I won't even say those words. Nah, but everybody know the NBA is all about records. You know, we seen. I think you saw me say this. This is the only time I've ever said this, but playoff year 15 LeBron was the LeBron. If he'd been playing like that, what I've seen his whole season, I mean, not just, I wouldn't even say the GOAT, but I would have been like, I think I would have liked him more because that's been the LeBron that I've been looking for the longest. His killer instinct was there, whether he was, you know, making and missing shots at all. But I mean, it just seemed like he didn't care. Like he was gonna take the shots, whether or not whether the team liked it or not. But you know, like I said, my point was his numbers was off the charts. Even though he, you know, he stacked like Westbrook, his numbers was off the charts, way over Harden's. But Harden's, you know, winning team record. I mean, they say MVP is an individual award, but it's a team award. Let's be real. I think, you know, I think Harden is the favorite. Going to be the favorite again, mainly because even if Golden State does have a better record, can't nobody on Golden State win MVP. That's going to be stupid. Who they going to give it to? You got Steph, you got KD, you got Marcus Cousins, you got Clay, you got Draymond. I mean, you can't give nobody the MVP on the Warriors. Let's just be real. So Harden is the favorite again. If everything goes right, if everything looks right, if he plays, if his attitude is good, if he just comes out of that diva shell, I actually think Kawhi Leonard, oh my God. I actually think Kawhi Leonard might be the favorite. I thought Kawhi Leonard was going to be the favorite if he came back early last year, but that didn't happen. But Kawhi Leonard could be the favorite too. Harden already won. You know how the NBA is about switching it up. And you know, there ain't no reason why Kawhi wouldn't be able to win. I mean, he's one of the best offensive players in the league, most efficient, the best perimeter defender in the league, second best player in the league. You know, when he's healthy. You know, when he was healthy, he was the second best player in the league. We got to see what he's doing now. So, depending on how the Raptors situation go, whether he's want to play or not, I think Kawhi's a favorite. If he tries not to play and, you know, acts up and, you know, whatever's going on, I think Harden's going to be the favorite again.
So you got Kawhi number 2.
I got Kawhi number 2 just because I don't know how that situation's going to play out. 3, I wanted to go with, the reason why I'm not going to go with Kyrie is the fact that Boston is such a well-fluent, balanced system that no one, and Kyrie goes with it. There's been many plays where Boston needed one shot to win. Brad Stevens used Kyrie. He's such a threat. He uses him as a distraction so well. He gives it to somebody else in a perfect spot, and they score the ball. And Kyrie seems to not care about that. Just you can see the reactions over some players at the end of the game, you know. So especially if they win, I guess you don't care. But it's such a well put together game plan that it's kind of hard for anybody on Boston to win MVP. It's the same reason why Jason Tatum was third in the NBA Rookie of the Year race, is because the ball he didn't have the luxury of Donovan Mitchell.
But IT did finish high before though, so it's possible.
But that was before Tatum.
That was before all the talent.
Right.
There's so much talent now. They had Horford, but now they had. I don't know. I was watching Boston a lot. People was thinking Jay Crowder was better than Jaylen Brown. I don't know what you guys were thinking, but
I'm gonna go ahead and say the name, Josh. Yo, ugly ass.
So, anyways, now that Jay Crowder's gone, Jaylen Brown was able to spread his wings. Jason Tatum, stud. You got Kyrie now. You just got Gordon Hayward. He's gonna be back. So there's no way for Kyrie, with the way Brad Stevens runs that offense, for him to win MVP. It's just not possible. As good as they gonna, one seed or not, it's not possible. They win 70 games, he ain't getting it.
You got a sleeper pick?
That was my third. I was gonna say, I think Anthony Davis, man. He's so.
Yeah. Can I replace that?
That's my third.
Anthony Davis is my sleeper, not LeBron James. Anthony Davis is my sleeper.
I think even DeMarcus when DeMarcus Cousins went out, the Pelicans, they swept the Blazers.
They played
the
a lot
Blazers
faster.
is talented. That's a tough team to sweep
in the backcourt.
Take away. That's a tough team to sweep.
Holiday.
Right. You got Dame. You got CJ. Nurkic. Don't sleep on him either. That's a tough team to sweep, and Drew. Drew was dogging him. But Anthony Davis defense, they couldn't get to the paint. All they can do is shoot the ball. So. If you're gonna leave a team to shooting, then unless you're the Warriors, it's gonna be tough to win games with Anthony Davis in the paint. So I think the Pelicans makes the playoffs again because Anthony Davis is just so dominant. Mm-hmm. So third in MVP conversation, he ain't gonna get it because his record ain't gonna be there, but definitely third.
Okay. What you got, D-Will?
Number one pick still James Harden.
Okay.
I feel like since the last 3-4 years, even the second he finally got his
Top
MVP,
three
I think the Rockets keep getting better every year. They might not make it to the finals again, but they probably will get close.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 2 pick will probably be AD.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If he can get the record, him losing
Stay
DeMarcus
healthy.
Cousins might have been the best thing that happened to his career. I guess he learned how to. I don't know what I want to say about AD. He losing DeMarcus Cousins really to elevated his
Open the game up more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got more spacing too.
Number 3 would probably be. Man, that's tough.
A lot of options.
Kawhi might be my number 3 if he wants to play. Mm-hmm. If he's 100% in, it's gonna be tough.
We don't even know if he's gonna finish the season with the Raptors. So
Right.
Who knows what's gonna
Maybe.
happen?
They might trade.
But if he's 100% in and he's 100% healthy, best two-way player in the league, why not?
Seriously.
My sleeper would be I say Joel Embiid.
Good pick.
He's still wide open.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's dominant, man. If you think about Joel Embiid, he doesn't play the normal minutes that the average star player plays. They've been limiting his minutes the entire season last year. So imagine if he started playing like 34, 35 minutes a game. His number is going to go up even more, So he definitely could be a potential sleeper candidate for that pick, for the MVP. But let's go to Reggie May Flair. What are your top 3 picks for MVP?
Man, I got number 1. Of course, my man's Russ. That's number 1. He always be number 1 every year, for obvious reasons. But other players that I think will fall in line, probably I think I am gonna go on that little Kawhi bandwagon, man, because man, like I say, the East is wide open, and then like you say, like Kori J said, is going off narrative. Like he's coming back from not only an injury, but the storyline he had over the summer. Like it's a lot going on. So it's like if he takes over the East and they come out hot and they end up even getting number 1 and number 2 seed, there's no doubt he's gonna be in the MVP race because we already know Lowry not gonna help him do that. Kawhi, Lowry sucks so much, but if Kawhi can do his thing and he come out blazing, man, I don't see why not. He wouldn't get the MVP. Number 3, I say AD. Yeah, like D. Will was saying, man, losing Boogie definitely was like not a blessing in disguise, but really just it opened the door for AD and the Pelicans, man. They really elevated their game, like every single one of them in the playoffs, especially in the playoffs. Of course, they got that sweep, but I think coming back for next season, I think AD definitely can make some noise as far as the MVP candidacy. For number 4, my sleeper though, that's tough. I'm gonna probably have to go Bran too, bro. Man, I'm gonna have to go Bran, bro.
Do y'all see the narrative that no one else picked LeBron except Kori? Why are we surprised?
I mean,
we know what LeBron gonna do.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We know LeBron gonna hoop.
Greatness.
We know Bron gonna hoop, man. And like I say,
they don't want him to win no more. I don't think. Like the NBA don't want LeBron to win.
I don't think LeBron. The reason why I would put LeBron in a race. He's always in the race. But the reason why I'm not putting LeBron in a race is because he has Lonzo Ball and Rondo right now. Like this man, LeBron is in his full effect if he's playing point guard.
Yes.
LeBron is not in MVP race off ball. LeBron, I don't think, because what's putting him in the MVP race is stuff in the stack sheet.
Because at the end of the day, like
Brandon
is saying, if they double off Lonzo or Rondo, that clogs the paint for LeBron and to do anything. So if he kicks it to them, it's not a high basketball play for them to shoot.
I feel like, but still though, they underestimate definitely.
I mean,
bro.
people talking about the shooting, but look at the guy. KCP shot 38% from 3 last year. You know what I'm saying?
On the second
they got Josh Hart who can hit the 3 ball. He looked really good in summer league. Brandon Ingram was what? He's around 39% last year from the 3.
Brandon Ingram.
Kyle Kuzma, we know he can shoot the ball, and these are young guys. I believe they're going to make progressions from the rookie seasons, you know what I'm saying? And even Lonzo Ball, I know he struggled his rookie year. He didn't shoot the 3 that well. But he had a stretch of around, 15, 20 games where he was leading the league in 3-point percentage. So I do think his shot could be fixed. It's a mechanical issue. I don't think it's his game is not necessarily he can't make threes. I just think he needs to adjust some mechanics on the shot and be more effective from the 3-point range.
But even Kori, based off that statistics you just said, leading the league in 3-point shooting for a single period of time. DeAndre Jordan led the league in field goal percentage.
I'm talking about 3-point
for a long period of time. Just because you lead in something don't mean you're the best at it.
Oh, of course not.
So with that being said, that may have just been a hot streak. But the whole season in totality, he had a similar 3-point percentage shooting similar to Russell Westbrook. And no offense to you, Lonzo Ball, he can't shoot the rock. Point blank.
So you don't think he's capable of shooting the rock?
I don't think he's capable of shooting the 3-ball consistently in the NBA.
Yeah, Lonzo not capable of shooting the 3-ball in the NBA at all. I don't think his shot changes.
Mechanically, it is.
I disagree.
I don't think Lonzo's shot is gonna change. I mean, if he do, then hey, more power to you.
Definitely.
Hopefully, change your shot. I don't.
Because let's just think about it just like this: when most 3-point shots, people run at you at some facet, right?
They go under.
It goes so much to it. Like it's 3 steps to it.
Well,
they can get
but
there.
that was last year,
so
right?
That's why he got.
He's a rookie last year.
But that
guys make progressions.
That wasn't my point about why LeBron wouldn't. LA got shooters. Josh Hart, they got some shooters. I mean, LeBron can kick it to people. My point is, I think with the team they got, Rondo wasn't on the team. They came and got him. So I'm thinking it's a purpose they came and got him. I'm thinking they came and got him to run the offense. Rondo can run a hell of an offense. So that means.
They do
get.
But let's just think about it like this. Former Lakers fan, I watched them all. Luke Walton is a guy who is more pace, space, and flow. Mm-hmm. There is really it's more of a motion type of offense. So move the ball, you move the ball, and bodies keep moving for back cuts and open threes.
That's good.
LeBron is going to have the ball stop.
It's supposed to be
behind the personnel, though. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Right, this ain't Cleveland, bro.
First of all, he got Lonzo Ball and Rajon Rondo. I don't think he agrees to bring them guys in if he's still going to dominate the ball.
That's
He's our pure playmaker type guy.
But Lonzo and Rondo, well, Lonzo not as much, but Rondo definitely dominates the ball. Lonzo was one of those players who pushed it up in a fast break. Rondo always pushes people in the right direction, always talking on them. That is not Luke Walton's offense. So naturally, it's not going to work with Luke Walton, LeBron, and Rondo because Rondo is going to have his agenda on how he wants the offense to run. LeBron is going to have his agenda of how he wants the offense to run. And Luke Walton is ultimately going to want everybody to move the ball and constantly move. It's three different people thinking how the offense should run.
Two of them people think the same way.
But one is the head coach.
LeBron, okay. Yeah. Sometimes they don't matter. LeBron and Rajon Rondo's IQ. Exactly. They got one of the highest IQs in the league. So I don't think them is bumping heads too much as far as how the offense
play together all the time.
Right, and you making subs, you changing lineups. So they not playing together all the time. I do think Rondo's starting. I do see LeBron letting Rondo run the point because, I mean, if he's a high IQ player, he knows that Rondo not running the point would just be a waste of space on the court. So, that's I originally chimed in saying because Rondo is going to be running the point, I think he's going to be running the point that LeBron wouldn't be an MVP conversation because he wouldn't be able to stuff the stat sheet as much as he do. Unless he puts up some crazy scoring numbers with Rondo at the point. That's possible. If he putting up 30 a game,
it's less of a load.
I think he can put up 30 a game.
Less of a load. So, yeah, I think he can average 30.
Let's think about it from a defensive aspect, though.
Yeah, Lakers are a huge, better defensive team than Cleveland. Cleveland was the 29th ranked defense last year.
They was horrible.
And they got to the finals, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just look at the style of players that LeBron was playing with. They were mostly specialists. You know, you had Kyle Korver, he was just a three-point shooter. J.R. Smith, he's supposed to be just a three-point shooter, but he didn't give you much else these days, you know what I'm saying? Shannon Fry, you know, these are specialist type guys. Even George Hill, he can play defense and he can hit the three occasionally, but he doesn't do multiple things good, you know what I'm saying? The Lakers, they have more diverse guys, you know.
Well, I just think it's so ironic how people change the narrative and say Cleveland built a roster for more specialists, and that doesn't really fit LeBron James' playing style. It's a reason why they surrounded him around that because he dominated the ball. He didn't allow other players to become the best version of themselves. For example, J.R. Smith, right? He became just a three-point shooter when he got to Cleveland. He was not known for three-point shooting on the Knicks. He was an all-around player.
You know, talking about J.R. Smith.
He was a
Let's
scorer.
also remember J.R. Smith was a throw-in in the Knicks-Cleveland trade. The Cleveland wanted to trade for Amon Shumpert at the time. They threw J.R. Smith in the trade because his value was so low at the time. J.R. Smith, I mean, I get he had some really good years where he used to attack the rim and dunk on people, and he used to create his shot more, but when he came to Cleveland, his reputation changed tremendously.
Let's just use Killah for another example.
He became praised for his defense, though. J.R. Smith was never known as a defensive player, and in those first couple of years in Cleveland, we're talking about J.R. Smith, the defender. You know what I'm saying?
Let's just use Killah for another example. Killah became more of a stretch four in Cleveland.
Absolutely.
He was known as a post player in Minnesota. There's not
except that last year. He took a lot of threes that last year in Minnesota.
It is not a coincidence that specialists were surrounded around LeBron James in Cleveland. Especially, I'm not saying he's the GM, but they surrounded him around players who they thought would be the most
space the floor, you know,
beneficial around him for that specific reason.
That's how they felt it's gonna work. And I honestly, I've been saying this for the longest. I thought LeBron needed more hoopers on this team, like legit. Rodney Hoods. I don't know why J.R. Smith deserved a start.
Yeah, he did not earn that starting spot.
Even Dwayne Wade, even though Dwayne did just, didn't want to interrupt the locker room. He said, okay, I did just got here. I'll take the bench. This is J.R. Smith, and you're Dwayne Wade, bro. Like, sometimes you just got to tell people, like, hey, bro, like, this is best for the team,
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they was dealing with, and, same thing with Rodney Hood. But I think LeBron gonna play well. It'd have been nice if he played the point with more hoopers, but since he got Rondo, he probably ain't gonna have the opportunity.
I don't think he has to.
But if LeBron was surrounded by people that played in Boston, oh my goodness!
I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness!
We can't really say LeBron's gonna play the exact same he played in Cleveland because it's a different personnel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think players adjust, and if we acknowledge him as one of the smartest basketball players in the league in all time, with his basketball IQ, I think we have to give him the benefit of the doubt and that he will make adjustments to the players around him. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that.
Will LeBron adjust or will he make them adjust?
Right.
LeBron
But
that's the question.
The personnel is the
question.
question, and we gonna find out.
That is the question
That is
because
a great
D-Will
question.
makes a great point in which since he's the best player, it's not gonna be like, okay, I understand that it hasn't been working for me. He's gonna be like, I have 3 rings. You guys figure it out. Like, I don't see LeBron being like, okay.
It's Kobe mentality.
Yeah, that's more Kobe. That's not LeBron.
Right. What you talking about, bro?
Hey, 5 is greater than 3. Fuck y'all.
Don't get me started.
Oh,
But yeah,
man.
this was a good debate, guys. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to episode 4 of the Kori J podcast. Shout out to my guests for coming on today, and I hope you all enjoyed this episode. And we signing out, baby.